Okay. So let's look at another one. Let me let my dog inside here real quick. He's all pissed off. So,
Coach, on that.
Oh, sorry, Coach McKenzie. Hang on, you're.
Oh, I'm muted. Sorry.
There you go. Go ahead, Coach.
Yep. On that last one you just showed, is the quarterback looking at this stick, or is he gonna give a look like he's gonna run, but then?
Yeah, so he's gonna grab that ball, and as soon as he's got it on any quarterback-based RPO, he's gonna load that ball and turn and bring it up and look right at the stick concept, because we want all three of those guys to have to play pass. Okay, so it actually has a draw effect. But here's the beauty of it. Because he loads that thing now, if they're not spinning that defense fast, he just fires it out there and takes the yardage.
Yeah.
But if they are spinning, he pulls it high, you're going to get a pass fit from your D-line, and then it has the draw action with double wrap.
Thanks.
Yep. All right. So let's play the same game with power. Same game. Now let's keep it in a truly spread world. All right. Love doing this to people. All right, let's go to even now. Let's play a little one high, shall we? Everybody thinks one high is cool now. Let's do that. This is probably nickel over here, whatever. Defensive coaches are all pagans. There we go. Okay. So now we want to get +1, right? Our only goal is to get +1. Well, now we can have a little bit more fun with this. Let's give ourselves a fade out combo. That'll make sure there's no weak side blitz. And then we can give ourselves a hitch. We can give ourselves an out, a slant, whatever game you want to play over here. Something that's going to make both those hats react evenly to it. And now let's run power. So we're going to double that. We're going to push it to the backside. We're going to take that guy. We're going to pull a gap power right there. And now let's add the word wrap. He's going to wrap to contact. If he finds nothing, he'll go all the way to the free. And there's a quarterback wrap. Okay. Nice, easy, simple. Okay. There's an 11P version. Now, if you say, well, coach, that's great, but my quarterback can't run the ball. I would say you have made a fundamental mistake in the selection of your quarterback. I hear people say that all the time. They're like, well, I've just got this quarterback that can't run the ball. Why? Like, why did you do that to yourself? And people say, well, he's the only guy we've got. I'm like, you've got a running back next to him. Why don't you teach the running back? Okay. My quarterback is the 4A player of the year in the state of Idaho. And he's not going to win a damn track meet to save his life. But he does a hell of a lot of power cleans. Okay. He wins competitions in the squat rack. Okay. He is the meanest hombre in the room, and he is not fast. Okay. And he doesn't even throw that good of a ball. He's proficient. He completed 60% of his passes. I mean, he's not damn John Elway out there. Okay. But he'll throw it around. He'll complete stuff. He's not freakishly fast. What he is big and strong. Somebody at your school is big enough and strong enough to run the ball downhill and equate numbers. Somebody is. And if they can throw a hitch and kind of half-ass throw a fade or a post, that's probably your quarterback. Okay. But I digress. Let's say, for the sake of argument, you say, well, coach, I don't want to run the quarterback. Okay. No harm, no foul. Okay. Now let's get into, for us, we'd call this brick. Okay, so we're in 12P. Okay, one back, two tight ends. So now this is for those of you that are like, screw that, I cannot run, I can't run my quarterback. I got to run somebody else. And just so that we understand that this is pretty multidimensional, we're going to play in an under front. So we're going to put the shade to the tight end. Let's see. We're going to come over here and we're going to play the nickel. We're going to roll the corner, play the free there, corner down. We're going to stick the strong safety right there. And then we'll go Mike and Will in the box. Coach Hogendorf, you've coached some defense in your life. Does that look like an acceptable 8-man front to you? Can we play that way? Okay, so they're not, I don't know. My personal opinion is if you are a base wing T team, just play an under front to a base wing T team. It kills buck trap and buck sweep that fast. I've been doing it to people for years, and I don't know. Like, you have to have other answers to it. And I think being able to spread it out and RPO it is the other answer. But because you guys all came to hang out with me on the 29th here, I'm going to show you something really cool that we learned through Self-Scout. I'll give you a man-beating RPO. It's Scorpion, but we're going to run it differently this year. We're still going to run a spot route, but we've always run the bubble wheel from 2. We're not going to do that anymore. We're going to foot fire and clear. We're just going to foot fire and clear right through the back of that snag route. So in other words, 1's going to take a step up and bam, here he comes. 2 is just going to bang, 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 just dig his cleats in, and then he's going to take off. So it's like a taper fade coming behind a snag route. Well, now I've pretty well eliminated that guy, and I've probably at least got that guy's attention. Now, if I want to run power, we have an A gap power, we have a B gap power, and we have a C gap power. Okay, well, if I run the B gap power, what it means is we're going to block base over here. And I love to run this when people underfront it. So we're going to go there, and I'm going to pull the guard, and he's going to wrap back through. So this is our B gap power. We have a code word for it. Okay, but it's B gap power. Now he's going to pull around for that will. So you'd say, okay, well, coach, I got to get rid of the mic. We'll add the word wrap to it, and we'll bring the Z around and smoke the mic, and then we'll same side power that thing and pound it right behind a double team. Now you have to make a choice. And I have another word that means we pull the tight end and bring him, and I can get a third puller to the party. Or you could just say, why pop? And you can pop the tight end, and you'll probably get both the nickel and the corner to go with the pop pass, and you'll get a 2-for-1 special. To me, that's double wing football. All you're doing is playing double wing football, but you're making things look quite a bit different to how the defense processes it. If you want to do it from a slightly different formational structure, you could do it this way. We like this too. For those of you that like split backs, so now you're in 20p. So now we're probably going to see more of the true cover 2 over to the 1 receiver side, a little bail quarters with the nickel playing the flat. Just depends on how they view it. Hey, don't make him bark. Sorry, my son's making my dog bark. This is kind of how we would do it, is we would play the underfront where the nickel is, okay, and try to kind of mess with people. So you could do this. We would go, try this on for size. We'd go counter, bang. We'd step and pick right there, okay? And then we would go pound. So pound is wrap, but it's from the same side. So wrap means you're on the wrong side and you're wrapping around. Pound means you're just going down and getting the guy. So we'd run counter, pound, Z orbit. And then we can play all sorts of games. You can run glance post. Now they've got other people on the wrong side. So they played quarters. This is what I would do. They played quarters with the nickel. Okay, all these people are now on the wrong side of the formation. This kid's in trap coverage, which means when he gets a vertical push, he's going to jam that guy. But he now has to decide, is that a new flat threat? If it is and he comes off, they're both blocked. If he screws up and he attaches to the post, you can just throw the swing right out there and he'll get 10 yards because there'll be nobody there. So either they block themselves or you block them with the route. Then by calling, all I'm doing is I'm just calling counter. I'm just calling basically GY counter left. But when I add the word pound, this guy blows up the mic. So now I've got numbers on everybody. I've got angle, 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 kick out, load, they're influenced, and they're RPO'd. I'm +1. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I have an RPO read. All that's because you can wrap people. Now, if you want to get heavy with it, I'll show you one more and then I'll cut you guys loose.
Hold on.
Keep too much. Oh, sorry, Coach. Go ahead.
On that, what you just had drawn up. So I guess if you see that post opening up on the backside, I guess it's you're reading off the cornerback, right?
So we're like this. Right? They were like that. And that guy, yes. Is that what you're talking about? You still there, Coach? Hang on, you muted yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Hang on just a second. I think you unmuted and then I muted you. Hang on. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Coach.
All right, yeah. So so on that, I mean, it's the read off the corner. If he's bailing and you want to throw, I guess what I'm trying to say is that I like these orbit throws in the backfield. I think we screwed him up because we didn't teach it right, even though that's dumb. But it's off the corner, right?
Well, so it depends upon how do they play it. Okay, if you did that to me, I'm going to move the safety there, and I'm going to rock that guy. We call it spinning and rocking. I'm going to rock his ass down in there, and he's going to become the flat player, and I'm going to deny the post. So my corner is going to flip his leverage inside and bang the hell out of your post route and not let you throw it, okay? But most teams won't do that. If they do, you need to be throwing that right there. If they roll to cover 3, you need to be trying to fit that glance post in. But if they don't do any of that, so let's see if I can undo. Come on, baby. Okay, so if they don't do that, and they just say, I'm going to stay in quarters, then yes, I think people read it backwards. Everybody's the safety, the safety, the safety. Yes, the safety is the answer. But because there's no nickel, right? There's no nickel over here. If there was a nickel, he would take the flat and the post would get double bracketed. There'd be no RPO. You just have to hand the ball off. That's why you line them up in 20P and you declare the nickel. Once you make the nickel, or as Nick Saban would call it, the star, once you make the star aligned to one side, it's the great weakness of the 4-2-5. Now, if you train your will to be a nickel, which we do, you should never let your will not know the nickel's rules. You would just make a call and you'd say, all right, dickhead, flip out there, and you're now the nickel, and we're going to play quarters over here.